Hi, I'm Dr. Catherin Harris. Today I want to speak to you calmly, clearly, and without taboos about a topic that quietly worries many people. How to create more pleasure when you feel your size is less than ideal. I'm going to say something important at the very start. Pleasure does not have a tape measure. Pleasure is a system, not a single variable. It's a conversation between your mind, your body, your partner, and the moment you're both creating. When you understand the system, you discover dozens of reliable levers you can pull to increase connection, sensitivity, and satisfaction, regardless of size. Size becomes one data point among many, not the verdict on your intimate life. Let's build this step by step. First, I want to normalize what you might be feeling. Cultural messages have been loud and, frankly, unhelpful. They teach people to equate worth with dimensions and to equate satisfaction with intense penetration alone. In clinical practice and in research, however, we consistently see a different story. The majority of partners report that emotional safety, communication, arousal pacing, external stimulation, rhythm, pressure, angle, and confidence predict satisfaction far better than size does. Think of pleasure like music. A single instrument can be beautiful on its own, but real magic happens when timing, dynamics, harmony, and expression work together. If you've been focusing on one instrument, we're going to hand you the entire orchestra. I want you to notice your breath as we talk. Take a slower inhale and an even slower exhale. The reason is simple. Your nervous system is the foundation of pleasure. Anxiety tightens the body, narrows attention, and dulls sensation. Safety does the opposite. Before we discuss strategies, we'll set a base of calm because small, steady changes in your nervous system create big changes in arousal and perception. One of my simplest clinical rules is this: slow breath equals soft body. Soft body equals better circulation. Better circulation equals richer sensation. This is true for all bodies. Now let's reframe what more pleasure actually means. Many people equate pleasure with intensity, but intensity without attunement is just pressure. Your goal is high attunement first, then intensity as a seasoning, not the whole meal. Attunement means your touch, pace, and focus are aligned with what your partner's body actually enjoys in that moment. The quickest route to attunement is structured communication that doesn't feel awkward or performative. I teach a simple check-in language called yes, more, not now. It removes pressure and shame. You invite your partner to tell you what is a yes, what they want more of, and what is a not now. Keep it light. Smile. You're not taking a test, you're learning a dance. Let's talk anatomy without heavy jargon. For vulva owners, the clitoral network is the star of the show. It's not a tiny button. It's an expansive structure with internal branches. Direct, indirect, and rhythmic contact with this network is what drives the majority of orgasms for vulva owners. For penis owners, arousal is also far more than a simple on-off switch. Arousal rises fastest with a balance of mental anticipation, external stimulation, consistent rhythm, and manageable performance demands. What does this mean for size? It means that strategies which maximize contact with the most sensitive areas, optimize pressure at the right angles, and keep arousal in the sweet spot will outperform size alone almost every time. Here's a principle I want you to memorize: arousal before intensity. The human body likes progressive loading. If you go straight to strong sensations when the body is not primed, sensitivity decreases and tension increases. When you invest in warm-up, through slow touch, kissing, breath synchronized together, gentle massage, external stimulation, and teasing, you increase blood flow to sensitive tissues, heighten nerve responsiveness, and make smaller movements feel bigger and more meaningful. 10 minutes of warm-up is good. 15 to 20 is often transformational. During this phase, emphasize continuous touch rather than fast, goal-oriented motions. You're building a wave, not chasing a finish line. Lubrication is your silent ally. Friction control equalizes differences in size by making every glide smoother and every subtle movement more noticeable. If you're using a lubricant, choose a high-quality product compatible with your bodies and any barriers or devices you might use. Reapply as often as you like. It is not a failure to add more. Think of lubrication as acoustic treatment in a music studio. It reduces noise and lets the finer notes shine. Positioning is where strategy becomes art. I'm going to suggest angles and frameworks, not contortions or complexity. Each position below is about maximizing contact with the most sensitive zones, creating pressure where it matters, and using shallow movement and grinding rather than deep thrusting when depth isn't the advantage you want to lean on. Remember, shallow rhythms can be incredibly powerful because they keep stimulation exactly where sensation is richest. When the receiving partner is on top, they can control angle, depth, and pressure. Encourage a forward tilt movement pattern, more of a subtle rocking or circling motion than up and down. This increases contact with external sensitive areas and the anterior internal wall, where it often feels particularly pleasurable. A small pillow under the supporting partner's hips changes the angle just enough to increase surface contact. Emphasize slow, consistent micro-movements. This is a place where size truly recedes as a variable, because pressure and rhythm dominate the experience. Side-lying positions, often called spooning, are underrated champions for comfort, closeness, and shallow entry. The bodies align naturally, the angle tends to be gentler, and hands remain free for external stimulation. In this position, small adjustments do a lot. A slight knee lift from the receiving partner, a tiny pelvic tilt backward or forward, and a coordinated rocking motion can keep stimulation exactly where it needs to be. Because penetration tends to be shallower in spooning, it pairs beautifully with external touch, which dramatically increases overall intensity without relying on depth. Another option is a variation of face-to-face with the receiving partner's hips, slightly elevated on a cushion, creating a shallow angle that prioritizes front wall and external contact. Again, don't think in and out as the only option. Think press and circle, pause and pulse, and glide and stay. Staying in a pleasurable zone and moving minimally is often more effective than chasing big strokes. The edge of the bed variation also works well. The receiving partner lies close to the edge, with knees comfortably supported. The penetrating partner stands or kneels. Because you have more control over height and angle, you can find the sweet spot where each glide meets the most sensitive area. This is also a strong position for combining penetration with hand-based external stimulation, allowing you to stack sensations. Stacking is a core strategy here. Layering moderate sensations together often outperforms one intense sensation alone. Let's address rhythm, because rhythm is a power tool. Most people default to a predictable tempo that gradually speeds up and loses finesse when anxiety rises. Instead, aim for 3 kinds of rhythm: grounding, wave, and peak. Grounding rhythm is slow and steady, with tiny movements or even stillness pressed into a sensitive area. It tells the nervous system, "You're safe. Stay open." Wave rhythm introduces gentle buildups and releases. Think of 3 slow glides, 1 pause, a circle, then repeat. Peak rhythm is brief, deliberate bursts when your partner's body is clearly asking for more. If you spend 80% of your time in grounding and wave rhythms and save peak for the end or for specific moments, you will amplify pleasure while maintaining control. Small size is well suited to this approach because shorter ranges of motion actually encourage precision and minimize overstimulation. External stimulation deserves its own spotlight. For many bodies, external touch is not optional. It's the main driver of orgasm. Your hands are incredibly capable tools. Use the pads of your fingers rather than the tips. Think of smooth strokes, gentle circular motions, and consistent pressure rather than fast, choppy movements. Match your partner's breath. If you need guidance, return to the yes more, not now language. Like this? gentle nod. More pressure, less speed, little adjustments. You are not guessing, you are collaborating. If both of you are open to devices, small, reliable external vibratory tools can be a wonderful addition. The key is consent, comfort, and cleanliness. Think of them as another instrument in your orchestra, not a replacement. Introduce them during warm-up and keep them in the mix during positions where they can stay in contact without effort. Sometimes the most effective setup is simply maintaining steady external stimulation while using very shallow penetration and synchronized breathing. This can produce a richer, more encompassing sensation than depth ever could. Let's speak about the pelvic floor. For all bodies, the pelvic floor needs both strength and relaxation. Over-tight muscles can reduce sensation and create discomfort. Underactive muscles may reduce feeling and control. Gentle pelvic floor training improves circulation and proprioception, the sense of where your body is in space. For penis owners, coordinated breath with pelvic floor engagement enhances control and sustains arousal. For vulva owners, learning to relax or gently engage the pelvic floor at different moments can fine-tune sensation. Keep training simple. A few sets of slow contractions and full releases daily, paired with long exhales to cue relaxation. Never force, never strain. Think smooth waves, not clenched fists. Confidence is chemistry. It changes how you move, how you touch, and how your partner experiences you. Confidence does not mean pretending, it means leading with curiosity instead of fear. Here's a simple confidence ritual before intimacy. Breathe slowly for 1 minute, roll your shoulders back to open your chest, think of one caring intention for your partner, and commit to steady eye contact at least twice during warm-up. When your attention is outward, on creating an experience, performance anxiety shrinks. You are not proving yourself. You are composing a moment together. I also want to talk about anticipation and story. The mind sets the stage for the body. When you create let-up, messages during the day that say, "I can't wait to be close," a short voice note, a plan for a warm bath, or a quiet living room with music, you change the nervous system's setting from neutral or stressed to receptive. This is where small size becomes irrelevant, because what your partner remembers is how desired they felt, how safe they felt, and how deeply they were seen. Desire is not just physical, it's narrative. Let's deconstruct a full intimate sequence where size is simply one tool among many, not the headline. Imagine you start with everyday kindness, doing a small chore, offering a thoughtful compliment without expectation. Hours later, you send a brief, warm message. You create an environment that feels inviting, soft lighting, comfortable temperature, a tidy space, a favorite playlist at low volume. You begin with closeness without agenda. Cuddling, slow breathing, light massage. You ask, "What would be a yes for you tonight?" And you use "yes, more, not now" as your guide. External touch comes first, at a pace that feels almost too slow. When you add penetration, you choose an angle that keeps stimulation on the most sensitive areas, using shallow, controlled motions, and you continue external touch. You watch for breath changes, subtle hips movements, and quiet sounds as your feedback. You move through grounding and wave rhythms, saving the brief peak for when the body is clearly ready. After, you stay close, talk softly, and appreciate each other. None of that demands size as the defining factor. All of it builds satisfaction. Let's walk through a 4-week practice plan you can adopt. In week 1, your only goals are environment and breath. Choose one room to be your calm zone. Keep a soft throw blanket, a good quality lubricant, and music ready. Practice 5 minutes of slow, eyes open cuddling with synchronized breath. Do not rush to intensity. You're establishing safety and predictability, the foundation of arousal. Add a few minutes of gentle external touch with simple feedback from yes, more, not now, not. In week 2, focus on rhythm. Practice the 3 rhythms: grounding, stillness with pressure, wave, gradual build and release, and peak, brief intensity. Use them with external touch first, then add shallow penetration in positions that allow easy control, receiving partner on top, side lying, or hips elevated. Keep sessions shorter than you think you need. Ending on a high note teaches your nervous system to anticipate future pleasure. In week 3, integrate angle and stacking. Experiment with small changes in cushion height, hip tilt, and body orientation that make contact more precise. Add gentle circles and glides rather than large strokes. Introduce layered sensations, hand plus shallow movement, or steady external stimulation plus micro thrusts. Keep your language playful and specific. More of this circle, softer here, stay right there. You are becoming connoisseurs of nuance. In week 4, invite novelty that doesn't create pressure. Change the room, the time of day, or the music. Try a warm shower together as a prelude. Introduce a small, comfortable device if you both choose, or a different type of external touch. Keep your rituals of breath, environment, and communication, because those are your scaffolding. When novelty rests on a stable scaffold, it delights rather than overwhelms. I also want to address common myths. Myth 1. Size dictates satisfaction. In clinical reality, skill, attunement, and emotional connection are repeatedly the strongest predictors. Myth 2. Deeper is always better. For many bodies, especially vulva owners, consistent, well-placed shallow stimulation paired with external touch is the path to orgasm. Myth 3. Devices mean something is wrong. No, they are tools, like a good chef uses a sharp knife. Myth 4. Talking during intimacy ruins the mood. If the tone is kind and the words are simple, communication is arousal. It says, "I'm here with you, I care, and I'm listening." If you're the partner who worries about having a smaller size, let me give you a mindset shift. Your advantage is precision and stamina with finesse. You can linger exactly where sensation is richest without accidental overdepth that can be uncomfortable. You can maintain contact during positions where larger size can be cumbersome. You can master rhythm and pressure in ways that many partners find profoundly satisfying. Own those strengths. Confidence, and the willingness to study your partner's pleasure, is far more erotic than any number on a measuring tape. Performance anxiety is a real thing, and it can become a loop. Worry leads to tension. Tension reduces sensation. Reduced sensation increases worry. Break the loop with tiny rituals. Before intimacy, do 60 seconds of slow breathing, a quick body scan to release your jaw and shoulders, and one compassionate sentence to yourself: "I'm here to connect, not to perform." During intimacy, return to your breath whenever your mind starts racing. After, celebrate what went well rather than fixating on what didn't. The brain learns from what you highlight. Highlight connection. For couples navigating differing preferences about penetration depth or frequency, think in terms of menus, not ultimatums. A menu has many options that satisfy the same hunger. Build your own menu together. External focus nights, slow and sensual nights, playful novelty nights, and penetrative light nights, where penetration is present, but not the main course. When both of you see multiple pathways to satisfaction, pressure drops, and desire rises. Remember, desire often fades not because bodies fail, but because pressure replaces play. Let me also gently note that medical factors can influence sensation and performance. Pelvic pain, hormonal shifts, medication effects, and prostate health are examples. If you notice persistent discomfort, changes in arousal, or concerns about urinary or pelvic function, please speak with a qualified clinician. There are excellent evidence-based interventions, from pelvic floor physical therapy to counseling and medical management, that can help. Seeking help is not an admission of defeat. It's part of caring for your health. Now I want to give you a compact strategy stack you can remember easily. It goes like this: scene, slow, speak, stack, stay. Scene means set the environment, clean, warm, low light, music, lubricant within reach. Slow means warm up longer than you think. Breathe together. Speak means use yes more, not now, to guide your hands and rhythm. Stack means layer sensations, external touch plus shallow, well-aimed movement, rather than relying on one sensation. Stay means when you find a great spot, resist the urge to change. Anchor there with micro movements and breath until your partner's body asks for more. If you forget everything else, remember, scene, slow, speak, stack, stay. Let's make this even more practical with a sample evening script you can adapt. You start by texting a kind, simple note earlier in the day. In the evening, you dim the lights and put on soft music. You invite your partner to the couch with a warm blanket, and you share 3 minutes of quiet cuddling with slow breathing. You ask, "Want to do a little touch mapping?" A playful phrase for exploring what feels good tonight. Using a little lubricant on your hands, you begin external touch, slow, broad strokes, then smaller circles where your partner guides you. You ask for yes, more, not now, and you listen. After a while, if both of you want penetration, you choose a position that lets the receiving partner control angle, on top or side-lying, and you keep the range of motion shallow while you maintain external touch. You follow a wave rhythm and save peak for the last moments. You end with closeness and gratitude, perhaps whispering one thing you loved. This is ordinary, repeatable, intimate, and it works. Please also remember to care for your body outside the bedroom. Gentle cardio, strength training for your legs and core, and regular stretching improve circulation and endurance. Hydration helps lubrication and energy. Sleep is an aphrodisiac your body will thank you for. Simple pelvic floor exercises done mindfully can enhance control and sensation, and kindness toward yourself and your partner is the single most sustainable aphrodisiac I know. If you're listening to this and thinking, "This all sounds great, but I still feel self-conscious," I hear you. Shame is sticky, but shame dissolves in skill building and connection. Start small, choose one strategy this week, maybe the breathing and the longer warm-up. Notice what changes, then add another. Perhaps the yes, more, not now language or a new angle with a pillow. Keep your wins visible. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is a memory of success your body learns through repetition. Create those memories. I want to share 2 brief, anonymized composite stories from patterns I've seen many times. In the first, a couple in their 40s had grown distant. He worried about size and rushed through intimacy, hoping speed and intensity would compensate. She felt unseen and tense. We replaced prove with pace. They practiced 5 minutes of breath and cuddling, added external touch first, and used side-lying with shallow movement and steady external contact. In 3 weeks, she reported more reliable, stronger orgasms. He reported feeling calm and connected for the first time in years. Nothing grew. Everything changed. In the second, a new couple was nervous. He had tried to copy what he'd seen in media, fast, deep movements. She felt overwhelmed and disconnected. We reversed the recipe. They set a scene with music, did warm showers beforehand, and used receiving partner on top with a forward tilt. He focused on tiny circles and pressure rather than depth, kept his breath slow, and asked for more or not now throughout. She learned to guide without apologizing. Within weeks, they had a reliable, tender intimacy that was anything but small. If you're partnered, consider a short pleasure meeting outside of the bedroom, 10 minutes at the kitchen table with tea. Ask each other 3 questions. What felt good last time, what you're curious to try, and what would make it easier to relax. Write the answers down if you like. Treat your intimate life like a creative project you both care about. The simple act of naming desires reduces guesswork and builds anticipation. Let's revisit the central thesis of today's talk. More pleasure with little size is not only possible, it is predictable when you apply the right strategies. Your toolkit includes environment, breath, warm-up, communication, lubrication, angle, rhythm, external stimulation, pelvic floor awareness, and aftercare. Each of those tools is small on its own. Together, they are symphonic. And here's a quiet truth. Many partners prefer the precision, comfort, and collaborative ease that these strategies create. The story that sizes destiny simply doesn't survive exposure to real caring practice. As we close, I want you to make a tiny plan for your next intimate moment. Choose a day. Choose a room. Place a small basket with a soft towel, a favorite lubricant, and maybe a simple device if you both like them. Make a short playlist of songs that help you breathe slower. Agree with your partner to begin with 5 minutes of cuddling and breath. Agree to use yes, more, not now. Try one angle adjustment, like a small pillow under the hips or a forward tilt. Keep your movements shallow and your focus steady. End with appreciation. This is not complicated, it is intentional. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs a kinder, more realistic conversation about intimate health. Your body is not a competition, and your relationship is not a performance. Pleasure is built, not measured. I'm Dr. Catherin Harris, and I'm grateful you spent this time with me. Be gentle with yourselves, be playful with each other, and remember, the most powerful strategy you have is the one you practice together, slowly and with care. Before we fully finish, let me leave you with a compact checklist you can screenshot. 1. Calm your breath. Inhale 4, exhale 6 for 1 minute. 2. Set the scene. Lighting, music, lubricant ready. 3. Extend the warm-up. 10 to 20 minutes of external touch with continuous contact. 4. Use yes, more, not now to guide pressure and speed. 5. Pick positions that allow angle control, receiving partner on top, side lying, hips elevated, or edge of bed. 6. Prioritize shallow movement and precision over big strokes. Emphasize circles, glides, and steady pressure. 7. Stack sensations, external touch plus gentle penetration. 8. Keep lubrication generous and reapply without hesitation. 9. Train your pelvic floor gently. Slow contractions and full releases paired with long exhales. 10. End with closeness and appreciation. Practice these 10, and you will notice the story you tell yourself about size begin to change. Not because you ignored it, but because you outgrew its importance. You deserve a connected, satisfying, intimate life. It is absolutely within reach. If you want more content like this, let me know what specific questions you have: communication, sensation mapping, anxiety, or building anticipation throughout the day. I'll keep bringing you clear, practical guidance that respects your body and your relationship. Until next time, breathe slowly, be kind, and remember, pleasure is a craft, and you are both the artists.